Upper large SUV for Drive Car of the Year for 2021 is a Clash of the Titans that started decades ago, and it is still continuing to this very day. On my right, in the blue corner, the Nissan Patrol, and on my left in the red corner, the Toyota LandCruiser. These two have been going head to head forever. Now, we know how good they are off-road, we know how good they are towing. However, for Drive Car of the Year 2021, we've decided that this is all about on-road use. So the kind of buyer that buys them spends time driving around town, using them largely as a family SUV, perhaps with some touring thrown in. Because not too many people spend around about 130 grand on a 200 series and go bombing across the Simpson Desert. More people use them day to day. So the judges are going to be taking into account things like how they feel to drive, how they ride, comfort, but also interior refinement, packaging, space, and of course, perhaps most importantly for this buyer, value for money. Let's see what the judges find out.
It's hard to believe, but the Toyota LandCruiser 200 series has been around now for more than a decade, and despite the age, it still competes right at the top of its class. There's no petrol option anymore, which contrasts with the Nissan Patrol, where it's petrol only. The LandCruiser 200 series is powered by a 4.5-litre twin-turbo diesel V8, which makes 200 kilowatts and 650 newton metres. It's mated to a conventional 6-speed automatic transmission with full-time four-wheel drive, low range, and Toyota's KDSS, the kinetic dynamic suspension system, which is available from the GXL model up. The GXL is the judge's pick of the 200 series range, with the VX also a notable mention. The GXL gets front and rear parking sensors, a 4.2-inch multifunction display, LED low-beam headlamps, cloth trim, and 17-inch alloy wheels. The 200 series gets more equipment as you step up the range, but it also gets more expensive. The range opens with the GX, which starts from $80,990 before on-road costs, and tops out at the Horizon, which starts from $131,896 before on-road costs. The Nissan Patrol counters the 200 series diesel argument with a 5.6-litre petrol V8 that generates 298 kilowatts and 560 newton metres. Like the LandCruiser, the Nissan Patrol is full-time four-wheel drive with low range and tricky off-road settings. Also equipped with a torque converter automatic, the Patrol gets 7 ratios, countering the LandCruiser's 6. In a straight-up battle on price, the Patrol wins by knockout. The range covers 2 variants, TI and TIL, with the TI starting from $78,910 before on-road costs, while the TIL starts from $93,365. Where the LandCruiser feels like a familiar old work shirt, the Patrol feels like a luxury limousine inside. There's a long list of standard equipment for the TI, including leather trim, electric seats, and thick carpets. Autonomous emergency braking with pedestrian detection is standard, along with rear cross-traffic alert, adaptive cruise control, lane departure warning, and blind spot monitoring.
The 200 series cabin is a bit more 2001 than 2021, a bit old and stodgy, but it's very comfortable, and LandCruiser owners are more concerned about the imperious view out, and that includes the huge bonnet ahead of the driver, under which sits a twin-turbo V8 diesel. This is a Sahara spec, so it's got all the bells and whistles. That includes a refrigerated console here for your 6-pack, non-alcoholic drinks for the driver, of course. We've got ventilated and heated seats up front, heated seats in the middle row, and also in the back is a DVD entertainment system, which also kind of shows how old this car is. But another positive in that middle row, loads of space, and because this car is so wide, you can easily get 3 adults back there. We've got a lot of modern looking cars here at Drive Car of the Year, and then we've got the Nissan Patrol. It is getting on a bit now. We've got things like fake wood here, which looks a bit weird. We've even got ruched leather, so all very 1990s. And we also in Australia missed out on an update that was released in left-hand drive markets. At least we do get a 360-degree camera now, so that matches the LandCruiser. And we've got literally at our fingertips your four-wheel drive system right here, so that's very handy. Your diff locks, your terrain modes, and there is vast space in this cabin, very comfortable seats. And in the third row, something that's better than the LandCruiser, your third row seats fold flat into the floor, giving you a much better boot space than the LandCruiser.
These two are extremely difficult to separate off-road, where their legendary ability shines through. The judges know that the vast majority of owners use them as family vehicles around town, however, and that's where the bulk of the testing has been focused for this year's Drive Car of the Year awards. You can read our specific off-road testing if that's your preference, of course. While neither of these platforms are designed to be fired around a racetrack, the judges had almost as much fun with this segment as they did with the sports cars. The judges noted that if you're buying a LandCruiser 200 series, you'd be mad not to option the KDSS, which tightens up the ride on the road and offers the articulation you need off-road. Both the Toyota and the Nissan are big, hefty four-wheel drives that shine more out on the open road touring than they do fighting their way around town. Still, the judges were impressed with their swerve and avoid behaviour on wet surface as well as dry, and the general drivability in what would mirror daily driving duties. The Nissan Patrol argues the case for a quality petrol V8, while the LandCruiser 200's venerable diesel is still a powerhouse in its own right. As what is effectively the last of their generation, both Patrol and LandCruiser feel their weight on the dynamic testing course, and the judges noted that this segment should be a focus for those wanting to tour long distances, tow large trailers, or head properly off-road.
Well, last year we had the 200 series just beating the Nissan Patrol. It was very close. This year it's been reversed. The facelifted Nissan Patrol is our winner for upper large SUV in the Drive Car of the Year awards for 2021, and quite simply it's about value. Obviously the facelift makes a little bit of a difference, and even though we didn't get the infotainment system we would like, you cannot argue with the value proposition of the Nissan Patrol. It's just such good value for money, and the money that you save, first of all, it can buy you a hell of a lot of petrol, because everybody argues about the 200 being diesel, this being a petrol V8. 30 grand, 40 grand buys you a hell of a lot of petrol. That's the first thing. Secondly, it's actually not that thirsty. In the real world, even when we're towing, this doesn't use that much more fuel than a diesel 200 series. So while the battle is tight, as it has been for decades, we reckon that the best upper large SUV for 2021 is the Nissan Patrol.
The Nissan Patrol wins this category in 2021 with a headline act that starts with a value equation that is impossible to ignore. The Patrol offers a level of standard inclusions and equipment that makes the price even more attractive. It's worth noting that whether you're touring, towing or driving off-road, the Nissan's petrol V8 isn't far from the Toyota's diesel in terms of efficiency. The fuel consumption claim on the Patrol TI is 14.4 litres per 100 kilometres on a combined cycle. For our real-world testing, we saw an average of 16.9 litres during our time with the vehicle. Remote area touring and off-road work would swing momentum back in the Toyota's favour, but for the majority of buyers, the Nissan Patrol is the winning candidate. While you could argue that both these vehicles are off the pace in 2021, such is the way the market has moved on, they still remain the upper-large SUV standouts at any price. Put simply, the Nissan Patrol does everything the LandCruiser 200 series can do, as well as the 200 series can do it, with a sharper price tag. And as always, head on over to drive.com.au for the latest reviews and comparisons, as well as our full 2021 Drive Car of the Year coverage.